Well, it's nice to be here, and especially to see not everybody's faces, but some that I recognize and some names. Um, and I don't know, I have a little deck, but I can just also just speak to the reason that Kelly asked me to join is to just share some of the ways that shelters are using home to home to support their foster program and really foster programs internally and externally. So I can give you a little bit, let me share my screen here. So just to give you just a brief overview, most of you I think know that Home to Home is a rehoming platform that is not really a tech solution for shelters. It's an opportunity for animal shelters, animal care centers, rescues to be able to reach out into their community and support them with their rehoming. So it empowers our community members to be able to help and support themselves while you're providing a limited amount of assistance to them. And then they are able to post for fostering needs as well. And I'll get into that a little bit if I can figure out how to change my screen. Here we go. All right, is it changing for you guys?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Cool. Okay, so basically how it works is that organizations that have a home-to-home program get their own branded home-to-home page where in the community they promote the program as Valley Humane Society's home-to-home program, Better Together Animal Alliance home-to-home program, San Diego Humane's home-to-home program. And when people are calling up and they need to surrender their pet, they are sent to the website, they create a pet profile, and then the organization is the one that reviews the profile to ensure that number one, and probably the most important, is there any resources in that shelter that can help prevent the surrender? And then they, if there's nothing they can do, they hit submit, and that pet is posted to their page. Which then the shelter promotes as an available animal for adoption. So it's literally allowing our community to basically foster and find their own adoptive families without it ever entering into the shelter. This is just an example of what a profile looks like. So people can share the pets through their social media. It gives some basic information. This page goes down a little bit, and then they get to create their own profile here. So we added this year in November a fostering module. So for shelters that are part of the home-to-home program, they can add a fostering component. So if people in the community need to find a temporary place for their pet, and Home to Home helps dogs, cats, any legal animal in your community, so small animals as well. So they create the profile, same thing, but instead of creating that they need to rehome the pet, they're selecting that they need to foster, find someone to foster their pet. And then over on your left side is the way that it appears. It says foster pet next to it. Families would click on that, and then they would message the owner and offer to be able to foster their pet for them. So it's providing this, oh gosh, I just lost the word, emergency fostering needs if someone's going into the hospital, if somebody is unhoused. This allows for the community to help other community members, and the animal welfare organization is really only involved in vetting or reviewing the post. They're not meeting the animals, they're not reviewing the safety of the animal, and they're not reviewing or going into the foster home. That's all done outside of the organization between the two community members. This is an example of a post, but I had to do it because it's like a bearded dragon. So cute, kind of. Okay, so another way that people use, shelters use home to home is, so the first way I showed you was that you're allowing the community members to post their pets that need to be temporarily fostered. You can use home to home for your adoption ambassador program. So when you have your internal fosters, this is a way for them to create a profile. So they would do it under the rehoming aspect of the site. And then they post all about the pet, they take pictures, and then when they're done, they submit this and it goes over to someone on your team. And then I wanted to show you this example. So if you see Fancy Bearded Dragon, and then under that is there's the 3 asterisks. So that's language San Diego Humane Society created for themselves, and then they cut and paste that into the posts that come through to them. So every organization is going to have a different thing that they might want to add. But for this particular situation, your foster parents could say, like it's a litter of puppies, let's say. They can put pictures, they can describe the personality of the pet. They can really tell like everything that's happening within the home and how this pet is responding in the home. When it comes to you, then you can put, or you can tell your foster families, like this is, if you're going to use home to home, here's the language you need to put at the bottom of your post that says, this pet is belongs to San Diego Humane Society. It will be spayed, neutered, vaccinated, and microchipped. The transfer of ownership will happen at the animal shelter, and a small adoption fee will be charged, and you can put the amount in there. And then you would hit post, and it would pop up on your rehoming site. So everybody sees that this is a pet that is currently in foster. The foster family is the one that would be meeting and talking to any potential owners. And then they would do the transfer of ownership at your organization so that you're getting that information and the adoption fee if you want adoption fee. Everywhere else on the site, there's no rehoming fee, so no one is allowed to use any transfer of money, which prevents scammers from wanting to use the site. And then you as an organization get your own back system. So this is just you know, what it looks like. You log in, and then under the My Shelter, you have an entire reporting area, and you also have the area where your pets are posted. You get to review, and you can post. If there's a pet that you do not like and you don't want it on your site, that could be in the state of California. They don't want people to post pets that have a bite history. Great. So they would reject that pet. Any rejected pet comes over to headquarters, and then headquarters will review the post on whether or not we want to post it outside of that sheltering organization. So as an example, for people who are out of jurisdiction, municipalities will deny out of jurisdiction, and we feel like these animals should still be posted. They're just not associated with any shelter. And then just quickly, we all know, I think, that shelters are not the best place for pets. That's why you guys are on this call, that we're getting the most out of animals and seeing the best out of them when they are in a home. We don't need a variety of animals in our shelter to bring adopters in. That shouldn't be our philosophy at all. And then people don't need to pay a fee to ensure a quality home. And heartbreaking stories don't necessarily generate more revenue, even though we all tend to use them in animal welfare. Sharing that positive story of how someone's dollars impacted a great outcome is very impactful. And then using this platform, or really any other platform, does not increase your liability, because you're not going in and evaluating the animal, you're not going in and evaluating the home. You're staying out of that, and you're just providing a service and a tool for the community to use. So Home to Home can help you reduce your owner surrender intake. It can support your adoption ambassador foster program, help community members find care for their pets so that you're not having to do that temporary boarding in your facility or using your foster homes for it, freeing up space for animals who truly need your help. It can be integrated into your adoption pages on your actual website and in your Facebook feed, and then it tracks data. There's a feature that allows people to look at a greater area, not just on your page, so it increases the pet listing audience. Increases your customer satisfaction, which I think is kind of nuts, because I didn't think that this would happen, but just the fact that you're leaning into your community and providing them with an alternative to surrender or is like such a big deal that you get the most amazing stories from it. I really have a high level of appreciation for the service. I included this in. This just gives you an example of what, if you look at how much it costs you to intake, what the savings could be. Oh, and that little QR code actually works, like on your screen. I tested it. But if you want more information, or if you want to just have a conversation with me, and like, I love idea sharing and figuring out different ways that things can be helpful. And I'm up for any questions. And then if you want more information on signing up, you can talk to Laura at info@home-home. Quick and easy.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. I had no idea that there was foster capability until you mentioned it, and it's so cool because it doesn't, you can get a safety net program that you don't really have to do a whole, get your hands in there and manage as much. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to say also that I just during Expo just did a presentation with Alexis from Memphis, and that I see in here that Shelter Love is mentioned, and she was talking about how they use their community support. Ugh, I wish I could remember off the top of my head what that is, but it's free, and it's like their community module, but it allows you to put notes in. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, if you wanted more information, email me, I'll send it to you. But it's a great way to manage your community and what everybody's doing.